Look, Marcell says. He can see a room in number 40 Old Wilton Street. He can see a person, too. A tall woman in a red dress. She's sitting at a table and talking on the telephone.
Do you think...
Henry starts. Shh, Marcell says. The two mice sit and listen.
That's right,
the woman says.
I'm going to New York. Yes, this evening.
She writes on a notepad.
Thank you.
She puts down the telephone. There's a bag on the bed in front of her. In it, Marcell can see some letters. The woman closes the bag. After that, she walks to the door. She opens it and then closes it behind her. Henry looks at Marcell in the hot, dark safe.
What are we going to do?
He asks.
That woman's got the letters. Let's telephone the police.
No, there isn't time, Marcell says. Do you know her?
The woman? No, I don't.
Who usually lives in that flat?
2 old women. But they're on holiday in Spain. Oh, Marcell, what are we going to do?
The woman closes the bag. After that, she walks to the door. She opens it and then closes it behind her. Henry looks at Marcell in the hot, dark safe.
What are we going to do?
He asks.
That woman's got the letters. Let's telephone the police.
No, there isn't time, Marcell says. Do you know her?
The woman? No, I don't.
Who usually lives in that flat?
2 old women. But they're on holiday in Spain. Oh, Marcell, what are we going to do?
Marcell looks into the dark flat. Come with me, he says. He climbs into the old women's flat. Henry is behind him. The 2 mice run across the floor. Then they climb up a table. On the table, there's a yellow light and a small white notepad. Marcell looks at it under the light.
What are you doing?
Henry asks. Marcell doesn't answer. Then he says, Aha! I was right. Can you see?
Henry smiles. Yes, I can. Not very well, but it says Concord 7:20.
Marcell puts down the notepad and looks at his watch. It's 6 o'clock. Then he starts to run down the leg of the table. Henry runs down the leg of the table too.
Where are we going now?
He asks. Heathrow Airport, of course, Marcell says. At 6:05, the 2 mice are in Old Wilton Street. It's dark and cold. They walk quickly to Knightsbridge Station. There are a lot of fireworks.
Bang!
Whee! Pop! Whoosh! Marcell watches them. Then he remembers the very big bang in the professor's flat. That was clever, he thinks. Very, very clever. There are hundreds of people at Knightsbridge Station. Marcell and Henry run under their legs and bags. Marcell can hear a noise. "Quick, Henry," he says. "A train's coming." He's right. A train is coming into the station. A sign on the front of it says, Heathrow. The doors open, and the mice get on. There are 15 stations before Heathrow. Every time, the train stops. Henry says, "Quick, quick! What are we waiting for?" Then the doors close, and the train starts again. At Heathrow, the mice get off. Marcell looks left and right. "Where do we go now?" he asks. "I don't know," Henry says. He looks left and right too. There are a lot of signs. Then suddenly, Henry smiles. "Marcell, look! That blue sign says Concord." "Good," Marcell says. He looks at his watch. It's 7:10. "Let's go," he says. The mice start to run again. "Marcell," Henry says, "what are we going to do? Okay, we find the woman. But then what do we do? How do we get the letters back?" Marcell smiles. "Wait and see," he says. They come to a door. It says, Concord, but it's closed. Henry and Marcell stop in front of it. "Oh, no," says Henry. But then, 2 men with big bags open the door and go in. The mice go in too. "Good," Marcell says. He looks at the people in the room. "Now, can you see her?" "No, I can't," Henry says. Marcell smiles. "I can," he says. "Where?" "There, in front of us." Henry looks. Marcell is right. The American woman is sitting on a chair and listening to her Walkman. She's reading a newspaper, too. Her bag is on the floor. "Okay, let's go," Marcell says. He takes a small knife from his coat. "Walk behind me, Henry, but be very, very quiet." He starts to walk across the room. Henry walks behind his friend. "Marcell's a detective," he thinks. "It's going to be okay. He knows his job. He does this every day. Yes. It's going to be okay." Marcell stops in front of the American woman's bag. He looks at Henry. "Shh," he says. "Wait here." Then he climbs up the bag. After a short time, he starts to make a hole in it with his knife. Henry watches. His mouth is open. He looks at the American woman. She's listening to music and reading. She doesn't look down. Marcell climbs into the bag. It's dark. He closes his eyes and opens them again. Now he can see some jeans, a radio, some books. Then, suddenly, he sees the Shakespeare letters. Good, he thinks. He puts the letters on his back and starts to climb down again. Henry sees him and smiles. But then, the mice hear a noise. Bing bong. The American woman looks at her watch. Then she takes off her Walkman and starts to put it in her bag.
Hey,
she says.
what? 2 mice? What's this?
Quick, Henry, catch, Marcell says. He gives the letters to Henry. Then he climbs down the bag